Hi, I'm Kathi-Lee Wilson. I'm here today to share some things about my life as an artist, as a musician, as a voice teacher, vocal coach, music director, and actress sometimes. 50 years ago, this year, I graduated from college and I got a Bachelor of Music and Vocal Performance degree. And I went to New York to Manhattan School of Music thinking that what I was going to do would be an opera star. Hello. But in that year, I realized that wasn't the way I wanted to go, and it was musical theater. I wanted to do musical theater, and choices that I made when I was in New York were not grounded in the Word, and so I kind of did that backslidden things, which meant for me that I made choices that were the polar opposite of the way the Lord wanted me to go. But there came a time when I visited a church, actually in my hometown in Birmingham, and the Lord showed me that I was at a crossroads. It was a why. I saw it in my mind's eye that I was at a crossroads, and that I needed to make a choice that day. Was I going to follow the direction I was going, making choices I was making, or was I going to follow Him? And I chose to follow Him because I knew, I never stopped believing. You know, you can make a lot of bad choices in life and still believe, but, you know, just be a rebellious child, which I was. But my life forever changed at that point. So, for a while, my music and what I was going to do with my music was on the back burner because so many of my choices were intertwined with the music industry and theater and that sort of thing. I felt like it was toxic, and the Lord put me on the back burner. I didn't know if I would ever get into music again. It's funny as I look back, you know, many years later, but I didn't know if the Lord would be able to use me, but it was on the back burner. I got married, had kids, and there came a time when I became a worship leader and was able to finally use my gifts. I learned so much in those early years in New York. I was in a little storefront church, a bunch of ex-hippies. I wasn't an ex-hippie, I was never that cool. But we had a wonderful community, and my relationship with the Lord was deepened. And you know, when you become a worship leader and you look after the Lord and you are the one that has to lead going into worship, not drive, but lead going to worship, the roots go down deep. So I moved to Virginia, and I continued my work as a worship leader, music director, choir director, and pretty much that's all I did was the Lord's music, you know, Christian music. And there came a time in the early 90s when I was brought into the musical theater again, and actually it was at Founders Inn Dinner Theater, which is, of course, was CBN, and a wonderful community of believers there, a wonderful community of artists there. So I became a music director of musical theater there, an actress, and I was a voice teacher, and now I've been a voice teacher for almost 40 years, and I will say that I have learned so much from my students over the years. The best way to learn is to teach. And there isn't a day goes by when I'm teaching students that I don't learn something from them. I learn to be a better teacher, or learn to be a better communicator, that sort of thing. I want to tell some of you out there who need to hear this that God can use you till your last breath. I believe that. I am 71 years old, and my life is so full. I am a voice teacher, a full-time voice teacher between my students here in my home studio. at Regent University. I've been at Regent University since 2006. Music director, and my husband Rocco and I have been involved in musical theater since actually 2004 here in Virginia. And we work with a lot of young people over these last almost 20 years. Now, I keep a very steady pace. The Lord gives strength, and where I get replenishment is in Him and in His Word. And I just keep going. Now, it helps to have my partner, my husband, as one who does the same thing I do. And for over these years, we had a production company called Theatrics Productions, which we still do, but we used to do 4 musicals a year. And he was the director, I was music director, and we worked with a lot of young people. And we still do over the summer. We do summer theater camps, but we want to instill in these young people how they can use their gifts in this secular world. But every show that we choose to do with them, there's always a message that we want to bring home to them. One of my favorite musical ever, and we've done it 3 times with our performers over the last 15 years, is Les Miserables. Now, that is a story about redemption. How God took a man who was on such a bad path and changed his life when he gave his life to the Lord. And it's a beautiful story of redemption, and we want these young people to understand that. Now, our organization, Theatrics Productions, is not just a Christian organization. We are secular, but we're Christians who have a secular organization. But we live our lives before these young people, and we talk about the Lord, and what each show that we choose that they do, there's always got to be a positive message to help them in their lives. And doing theater is something that teaches them confidence. When they audition, they learn how to present their best self before us with their gifts. And in life, we've heard from so many who have grown up, some of them have children now, but they talk about how much they learned in theater and how they can present themselves at interviews, and some of them are still in theater. We have some Broadway performers now, but always underneath, we want to instill where God is in the picture. He's not way over there, but He's here, and we believe that He will lead them, and that He certainly is leading us. Now, our latest project that we're doing, and this is Rocco and me, again, it's a lot easier to keep this steady pace at 71 when your husband is a part of your partnership, and we do all this so much together. But the most exciting part of our lives right now is a project we're working on called Second Coming, the Rock Musical. We've workshopped this wonderful show that is about, it starts at the tomb of Jesus before His resurrection, and it goes through to the Second Coming. And the music is extraordinary. It is such wonderful, God handcrafted music. And we are looking forward to previewing that show, but we believe we're going to be able to do it before Jesus comes back the second time for real. So we are going to be able to do it October 13th through the 15th at the Christian Embassy International Church here in Chesapeake. I'm never going to stop until the Lord takes me home. If I hope and pray I'm still singing, and that I haven't lost my voice at age 81. And as a vocal coach and vocal teacher, I should know how to take care of my voice, and I will be singing when I'm in my 80s and maybe even 90s. I may not be walking, but I want to be singing, you know. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope that there's some little nugget that I've shared with you that that encourages you on your walk as an artist. Don't give up. You know, we might get as old as Methuselah, but he can still use us, just like he did Methuselah.